you may remember me from a place that was alive with the sound of music. Well, I've been set free to explore a much more beautiful place where the hills truly are alive with the sound of music. I'm taking a magical mystery tour to draw my very own musical map of Wales. I'll be travelling the length and breadth of the country, meeting some fabulous people. I used to be where you are. All with wonderful talents and amazing tales to share. Hold on for a bumpy ride. I haven't driven a car in 10 years. It's really fine, honestly. Famous last words. High on a hill was a lonely goat herd. Loud was the voice of the lonely goat herd. My journey today is taking me around two contrasting parts of Wales, from the former mining valleys of South Wales, and then across and over the heads of the valleys to the very different but equally beautiful rural areas of the Brecon Beacons and the Black Mountains. My travelling companion is one of the last remaining Welsh-built cars, the Gilban, or Gilbert as I call him. Gilbert's great age and my dodgy driving are proving quite a shaky combination.
Oh dear. He'll never make it up the valleys. Oh dear.
Let's hope we do, as my journey starts in Merthyr with a question. What do you think is Wales's most enduring and most recorded love song? I bet you're saying a Tom or Shirley hit, but I think it's a song that was created over 100 years ago and has its roots here in Merthyr. I'm going to test whether the people here now can sing or even remember their great export.
I wish I knew the words.
Do you know anything?
Do you know what the most famous Welsh love song is?
Myfanwy?
Yes! Somebody knows.
Myfanwy, oh,
And it's only... no, I can't sing it.
But many famous names have performed and recorded it. I'm travelling a short distance to the birthplace of Joseph Parry, the man who wrote Myfanwy, to find out more about the song, why it's lasted so long and been sung by so many stars, even little old me.
Oh, Myfanwy, at Joseph Parry's house. Exciting!
Joseph Parry was born in 1841 and started working in the mines at the age of 9. His family house is now a museum in honour of the great man. When he was 13, his family left Merthyr and emigrated to America in search of a better life. He soon showed his musical genius, and people raised money to send him to study at the Royal Academy in London. He became one of Wales's most famous composers, writing Myfanwy in 1875. Alwyn Humphreys is one of Wales's foremost conductors and musicians, and knows the secrets of Myfanwy.
The young man is saying to the girl, Myfanwy of course, look, I realise that you don't love me anymore. Your cheeks don't blush anymore. You don't rush towards me. She hasn't got the guts to tell him that her emotions have cooled, but he says, and this is the crucial line, I don't want your hand, Myfanwy, unless I can have your heart as well. And he says to her in the end, give me your hand just once more to say farewell. Oh. He came from nothing, absolutely nothing, here in Merthyr, and rose to become the most powerful musical figure in Wales.
What is it about Myfanwy, the song, that makes it so popular?
Myfanwy is that piece of music that gets to the parts of the human condition that no other music can. I've conducted it all over the world, and it's amazing how people who know nothing about what the words are about, because I always sing in Welsh, of course, it's because it's got something in it that appeals directly into the human condition. It reaches the parts that no other music can.
Perhaps someday someone will write such a beautiful song for me. Oh, Connie. Doesn't sound quite as romantic, eh? But a girl can dream. I'm travelling out of the industrial valleys and some 20 miles north towards the cathedral town of Brecon. You may think talent shows and auditions are a very modern invention, But I'm going to a place that has been selecting people to appear in the limelight for centuries. What an entrance. I've always fancied being in Phantom of the Opera. Choirs have sung in Brecon Cathedral for centuries, and currently there are 20 children and over a dozen adults singing regularly. Choir master Mark Duthie auditions young people each year for a place in the choir. No pressure then.
We offer places to 2 or 3 boys and 2 or 3 girls every year, and we audition them when they're 7 years old to start in the choir when they're 8. And usually we get about 20 people applying.
So you're kind of the Simon Cowell of Brecon?
Well, it's a bit different from that, really, I think. And what we hope is that everyone who's come for the Voice Trials Day has sort of enjoyed it and benefited from it. We've chosen the ones who are most going to be suited to it and most going to enjoy being in the choir.
George Stafford Smith has been singing with the choir for nearly 2 years after getting through the tough audition.
They chose 5 of us. One of them was me. You start a probation and then you sing well and you work your way up to like chorister. Then you get a medal, the blue medal. Then when you're head chorister, the oldest, you get a dark medal. With choir, you have to give up most of your time because we're on Wednesdays and Thursdays for practice, Friday till 7 for practice and services, and then double on Sunday. It's always singing around friends, and when you're in choir, you make new friends.
So, Erin, teach me a little arpeggio or something that would get me into the cathedral choir. Again. Watch the windows, watch the windows.
Little Shakira Price Davis, on the left of the 3 angels, is just 9 years old and has been in the choir for under a year.
When you're singing in the choir, what are your favourite pieces to sing?
Well, I like all the bouncy songs.
Do you like singing in particular languages? Because in this choir you get to sing in English. And what other languages can you sing in? Because you're only 9.
Latin.
Can you give us a line in Latin from any song that you know?
Locus is there.
And what does that mean? It's okay, I don't know either. Do you sing in Welsh?
Yes.
And do you compete in competitions like Eisteddfods?
Yes, we had it today.
No, and what did you sing?
Nid wy'n gofyn bywyd mwy, this air y byd a berlau man.
That was awesome, that was awesome. Round of applause, that was brilliant. I'm now off to meet someone who was once a member of a choir himself, but now he's better known for his very successful solo career.
Figaro, 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 Figaro.
Rhydian shot to fame when he was runner-up in the X Factor. I often competed against him in Eisteddfodau around the country when I was growing up. Rhydian went to Llandovery College and was also in a choir. Well, briefly.
If truth be told, I'm more of a soloist, and I was a soloist from about the age of 3, and I kind of wanted to be centre of attention, and I always felt, oh, do I have to sing with everybody?
Did you find that your musical background, your musical map prepared you for later in life competing on the X Factor?
The Eisteddfods certainly prepared me because it is the original X Factor in a way, isn't it? You're there performing in front of an audience, you're on TV, and you've got a panel judging you. You remember when we competed against each other, you were very competitive as well.
You're vicious.
But you equally, you know, I think you matched me.
I certainly did. I'm so competitive.
You were much better than me.
I was not. I absolutely wasn't.
And actually, I'm going to embarrass you now, but you inspired me to do the X Factor.
Oh, Riz.
That's the absolute truth. That's the truth. having seen you do well in Maria, I was like, okay, I know Connie, we kind of have the same musical background.
Yeah.
Why not have a go at... Because I did Joseph. I did the BBC.
You didn't?
I was in Joe School.
No.
True story.
So you went for the Joseph competition with Lee Mead?
And do you know what I said in my audition? Tell us something interesting about yourself, Rhydian. I said, I know Connie Fisher. Absolutely true.
That's really interesting.
And they said, okay, let's hear what... And then...
He's cut. We've been tracing the history of the song Myfanwy.
Yeah.
Is that one that you know?
Myfanwy is my favourite song of all time because it's so simple, the melody, but so beautiful.
Can you give us a couple of lines from it?
Yes. My dicter o Myfanwy and llen with lagaid di on di Palle mae'r sain Eiriau melys fi'n dening halon ar dy ôl.
I feel like I've been wooed by Rhydian. I'm a bit moved. Beautiful. I'm a bit speechless.
Oh.
I was serenaded by Rhydian. And who'd have thought Myfanwy would sound so beautiful?
Oh.
Thank you. Ah, wiping the tears from my eyes, it's time to hit the road again. I'm heading now to the heads of the valleys. I'm travelling just over 20 miles and going back 60 years to dig up an amazing story that links this part of the world with pre-war America. I'm rolling down to Blaenavon to find out more about Paul Robeson, his astonishing voice and his very moving connection with the South Wales miners. Paul Robeson was born in New Jersey in 1898. He was a man of prodigious talents, a huge, deep voice, and a massive stage and screen presence, which made him a star on both sides of the Atlantic. I'm going to the Big Pit Mining Museum in Blaenavon to meet historian Sian Williams to trace the link between Paul Robeson and the Welsh miners, which really began when he was performing in a musical in London's West End in the 1920s.
He was in Showboat, and at that time, that's when he came across the South Wales miners for the very first time. A group had marched from South Wales to London as one of the hunger marches. They were fighting for better wages, for better working conditions, bearing in mind many of them were unemployed. He could understand immediately what they were fighting for.
The shared experience of hardship and the tradition of singing helped develop the growing bond, and the relationship was strengthened when Paul Robeson starred in the Hollywood film Proud Valley, shot in South Wales.
This fellow brought a black man to work on the pit.
Well, what about it?
Why, damn and blasted, man, I'll be all black down that pit.
He would appear in concerts, not only to raise money for the miners, but for lots of different struggles. One concert that he attended in 1938 in Mountain Ash was a memorial to those who had died in the Spanish Civil War.
Paul Robeson's support for civil rights and radical causes in America led him to be blacklisted for un-American behaviour, and his passport was withdrawn in 1950. But that didn't stop his friendship with people across South Wales. New technology allowed a unique transatlantic radio link in 1957.
My warmest greetings to the people of my beloved Wales, and a special hello to the miners of South Wales at this great festival. Did my Lord deliver Daniel, deliver Daniel, deliver Daniel? Did my Lord deliver?
Paul sang 5 songs, and then the Treorchy male voice choir sang to him, and the Eisteddfod recording finishes with the whole audience singing "We'll Keep a Welcome in the Hillside."
Paul Robeson died on the 23rd of January 1976, and in many valleys across Wales there was a moment's silence to mark the end of a very special friendship.
Wow, what an amazing story that was. Well, from stars of the past, we're off to meet some stars of the future.
I'm travelling across the heads of the valleys to a little village close to the border. In 1962, a small music festival was set up in Llantilio Cresceni. Over the years, it's gone from strength to strength and developed from a local amateur affair into a professional event.
I'm here in Monmouthshire. OK, now I'm seriously close to the English border, but I hear in this school there are children who are rising up the musical scale. Let's go meet them.
Who's playing those bells?
When Eleanor Franken became musical director in 2006, she decided that more youngsters should be involved and be even more ambitious. This year, they're putting on a major opera project. Serious stuff, huh? Today, Cross Ash, tomorrow, Welsh National Opera.
Hi! Just one sec, Connie.
Hello, everybody. Hey, great singing. Eleanor, tell me a bit more about what you are preparing for.
Yeah, the children from Cross Ash School are rehearsing for performances of The Magic Flute by Mozart.
Fabulous.
And they'll be singing, they'll be dancing, they'll be making their own costumes, their own scenery. You could be singing spaghetti. Right? So we really need to hear that, right? Oh, Papageno, wait and see.
So tell me a little bit about the piece you're going to be performing.
We're the three ladies, and those two are showing the part of Papageno. And, well, it's kind of high, and...
It's really high. It's really high, isn't it?
Yeah.
The world of...
Stop, 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 stop. Oh, Papageno, wait and see. You've only one more chance to let it be.
There's an awful lot of musical talent in Wales, more so than sometimes when I've been working with children and projects in England. There seems to be a little bit more sort of singing quality in Wales. So I think really it's wonderful to be able to have these children available who really can sing, and to be able to put on an opera where they actually are taking not only singing in the chorus, but they're actually doing solo roles as well.
I have no key.
Toby Lane is playing Tamino, explaining to Papageno in this part of the opera that he can't help him speak.
I have no key.
How do you get 10, 11-year-olds, younger even, singing opera?
You have to try and find a story, first of all, that they're going to love. So any sort of fairy tale is always going to go down well. And then you've got to try and show them that opera isn't maybe as stuffy as some people might think, and that actually some of the stories are such fun.
Who's playing those wonderful bells?
I have to say, the only opera I have ever seen is The Magic Flute.
Oh, excellent!
And I
Yes.
think you did a better version.
Oh, thank you.
Can I show you the penguin song?
I couldn't come all this way without giving a masterclass.
Have you never had a penguin cup of tea? Take a look at me, a penguin you shall see. Penguins, pay attention. Penguins begin. Right arm, right leg, left leg. Stick out your bum, stick out your tongue.
Ah, it's so good to give something back to the next generation.
I'm exhausted. And now for something completely different. I'm off to sample the rock star lifestyle. Has it got a fourth? Yeah.
I'm going east to one of Wales's most legendary venues. Just north of Monmouth is Rockfield, a studio that has recorded the hits of virtually all the great rock bands over the last 45 years. It's the who's who of rock history. Queen, Oasis, Ozzy Osbourne, Rolling Stones. Who hasn't recorded here? Well, I haven't actually. But moving quickly on to meet co-owner and founder Kingsley Ward, who gave me a guided tour of a place where there is musical memorabilia everywhere you look.
That's why up on top of there is a horse, you see, as a weather vane. And my brother, funny enough, he seems to think that when Freddie Mercury wrote Bohemian Rhapsody, perhaps he got Any Way the Wind Blows from looking up at that horse.
From that very weather vane.
He thought that, but he might be right, mightn't he? You don't know. Freddie's not here to tell us, is he?
Kingsley, a little birdie tells me that around here Oasis have recorded.
Yeah, they did. Where we stood, back when they did What's the Story, Morning Glory, there was Nigel Kennedy over there in that studio, and I could hear Nigel Kennedy doing his classical, you know, every morning he spends 3 hours training, and I could hear Oasis in the studio, so I had Oasis in the one side and Nigel Kennedy in the other. How's that a bit of a...
No way!
That's a culture shock, isn't it? I have to say that when Ozzy turned up in 1966, he used to play bows and arrows here against that wall there.
No.
He had a target.
And how old was he?
16.
Love it.
And this wall here, I think Noel or Liam sat on top of there and sung some of their words to What's the Story, Morning Glory, and so we call it Wonder Wall, tongue-in-cheek, like, you know.
But I want to know how they got up there.
They used to jump up there.
I'm going to get up there if it kills me. Ah! Okay. And I'm not really going to make it. Have you got a get-in list? A kind of, you can't get in because you're not good enough?
No, we've never had that. We're grateful for anybody now because the music business has collapsed. If they got the money, we'll take it off them.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a good ethic. So have you ever been there when someone's been inspired to write a song?
When Freddie Mercury sat in the office, piano in the corner, and I remember him partly writing Bohemian Rhapsody, he wrote it partly in London. I remember him sat over there going through the little things. But we have made the greatest records in the world at Rockfield, and I have to say, possibly some of the worst.
Hang on, no, I haven't been here yet.
We have a lot of tourists coming here from around the world, and they come here for all the most strangest reasons. Some come because of a band called Rush, some come because of Iggy Pop, and we had 2 people from Texas a month ago, and they came because of Adam and the Ants. So you never quite know who's going to turn up at the gates, you know, to have a look around. It's because it's hallowed ground to many people in, you know, in the world, really.
So what's kept you going?
With the onset of the internet, unfortunately 90% of all music is no longer paid for, and people don't expect to pay for music anymore. So what we've done, because we have a lot of accommodation here, we've diversified into holiday let on weekends.
So you can actually stay where Queen have rocked?
Well, you can stay at Rockfield in accommodation where famous rock stars, Robert Plant and Oasis and all these people have all been, you know, Robbie Williams, you can stay at all these...
Hang on, Robbie's been here as well?
Well, he stayed here, yeah.
So when I'm lying in my bed, thoughts running through my head.
Connie Fisher sleeps in the same bed as Robbie Williams at Rockfield. Don't tell the papers.
I'm loving angels instead.
My final destination is the former mining town of Blackwood to find out about a musical link with all our pasts. This is the birthplace of the Manic Street Preachers, and earlier this year they returned to play a concert in the Blackwood Miners Institute, the place they performed over 20 years ago. The Manics have always valued that link with their past.
Going back to Blackwood and playing in the States seems like a challenge. There is an element of seeing if you can reconnect to the past. There's definitely like an emotional resonance there, and there's definitely lots of nostalgia there.
Tonight, here in Blackwood, it is the Manic Street Preachers!
And today, the link with the past is even stronger, as the Tredegar Male Voice Choir are rehearsing for a concert at the Stute. Built by miners' hard-earned pennies, Blackwood is now one of the very few surviving miners' institutes in Wales, and still resounds to a sound that is also under threat. Historian Gareth Williams has researched the history of the Miners' Institutes and male voice choirs.
In these institutes, and there are about 100 institutes by the First World War, which have varieties of facilities. They have great libraries, they have lecture halls, games rooms for chess or dominoes or table tennis, and they have halls in which they can rehearse and practice and hold concerts. And all the time they are learning, they are improving, they are being sociable, but they are enhancing their own citizenship.
So the men down the mines would sing, and was there a sense of camaraderie there?
Certainly camaraderie, and the repertoire of the male choir is to a great extent about comradeship and struggle and sacrifice. The male voice choirs today are still singing items like Comrades in Arms and Martyr of the Arena.
The tradition of male voice choirs has changed as much as Wales has. With the loss of mining, there has been a dramatic reduction in their number. So I'm going to take my chance while I can. I'm amongst the boys from Rhydian. So,
That way?
Oh, I see. Oh, there we are.
I've done this job before.
I can tell. Were you yourself a miner, Idris?
I worked in the colliery for 49 years. We went underground age 14, and we just accepted that it had to be done.
And did you all have that sense of camaraderie and musically
always.
as well?
You will always find that underground. There's a wonderful bonding.
Well, when we were in the pit, it was virtually in the baths that we sang.
Right.
When we were showering.
Yeah. After I finished in the Brecon in the mines, I missed the companionship, you know. Joined the choir.
Yeah.
Find it again there.
And I hear that we're going to be privileged enough to have a song from you now, so take it away.
I think it is crucial, that link between mining and male voice choirs. The miracle is that the male voice tradition has now survived the decline of the mines.
And let's hope that tradition keeps on going for years to come. Keep on singing, boys. Next week, I'm heading home to Pembrokeshire as I learn all about the story of this sea shanty.
Oh, yes, oh!
Swept away at sea!
That's where we go.
In St David's, the gloves are off as I pull out all the stops. And there's a surprise in store as I enter another talent contest.
Connie concludes her musical map of Wales next Monday at the same time.
You look happy.